Welcome back to the Cotswolds. First time back for me, back in the Cotswolds, running through the Cotswolds since I did the Cotswold Way last year. So quite excited to be running back amongst the golden stones of the Cotswolds. It's just beautiful around here. It's absolutely amazing place to come and run. And today is the Bourton 10k, which I'm excited for. And I've just paid £7 for parking, so it's a bit of a welcome to the Cotswolds scenario. £7, £7 to park your car. Anyway, so now we're off to, I'm going to go and get my number from the race HQ. So you park basically in town, then you've got to go and walk to collect your number. Then I'll come back to the car and just stay warm and prep a bit. Then I'll probably go and do about a kilometre warm up or something. Nothing too, too far or too much time on feet. And I'm nursing a couple of niggles. One in the glute, one in my right bum cheek, and one in my ankle, so I'm still unsure what shoes to wear. I've got my Takumi Sen 10s on. Hello, how you doing? So I've got the Takumi Sen 10s on and I'm walking down to get my number in these, just to see if they feel good whilst I'm walking down, and if I'm not getting a good feeling from them, then I'm going to stick the Alpha Flies on. But with the forecast winds today, which are apparently up to 41 gusts and more, I don't think it really matters what I put on my feet today. So yeah, let's go and get the number and we'll see where we feel. All right, bud. And then we'll see how we feel just before the race. Right then, so number collected, and now it's time to go back to the car to be a bit of an unsociable git and stay warm and self-massage my glute and sort of rub my bum for a bit. So yeah, it's not weird at all. Car park's filling up now. It's quite a busy race. I have no idea on numbers. I would say 500 maybe? 1,000 runners? Oh, I'd love to know. I don't actually know what the amount of runners will be, but yeah, there'll be plenty of folk here. So let's get my number on, and I've got to get my shoe choice decided. So next clip you see, you'll see what I've chosen. So I've decided to go for the Alpha Flies. Basically, with these niggles that I've got, just think it's maybe better for me just have a bit of cushion for the pushing. So I just think if I've got something like Zoom X under my feet, it's just really nice, and don't know, hopefully, or I don't know, I'm just trying to justify a way of wearing my favourite shoes. I just really like these shoes, I'm wearing them. Right, hopefully you can probably hear that wind by now. You probably can't hear a thing I'm saying. I'm going to have a 1 kilometre warm up, then it's go time. Beware the incline at halfway. It's not sheer, it's just might catch you out.
10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go!
As he goes. One thing that I remember about this race from 12 months ago was after, I don't know, 50, 60 metres, there's an immediate bottleneck and a hard right turn, as you can see. And it's just a bit of carnage really, because everyone's trying to jostle for position. People are at different speeds because there's no starting pens or anything like that. It just feels like everybody wants to start as far forward as possible to try and get a little bit of daylight. And as a result, nobody gets any daylight, nobody gets any space. So if you're not at the very, very front, you might end up doing your first kilometre or your first half a mile a little bit slower than you thought you were going to do. But coming around the lap of the village, because the start of this race is 2 laps, pardon me, of the village. And here we are on John Broom's cam, and there's me with the neon Alpha Flies, about sort of 30 foot, 20 foot in front, because I'd just sort of cracked on slightly for that second loop. And here we are coming out of the village now, where we can finally get into our stride. So 2k in now, and as you can see, I'm running with JB, John Broom, of the 2 running brooms, and Dawn is his other half is also running today, who we will see at the switchback at the halfway point when we go around the cone. But John I didn't realise this, was in a race with me, and I didn't know that until we started racing. But to be fair to John, he did have a very similar target to me, so it worked out quite well that we ran the first half together. The second half, I sort of said my goodbyes to John. Well, he said his goodbyes to me anyway. But I'm really grateful for John for sort of guiding me through the first half, and I really tried my best to hang on in there, because I knew that the second half, well, I didn't know, but I backed myself to have a decent second half rather than the first half, because it is slightly downhill, and I wondered if the wind would carry us home slightly. And I always need a few kilometres or miles to warm up into any race, and it's not feeling good for me until at least a quarter of the way through most races. But by now I'm starting to really feel decent, as we start to see the runners coming the other way. So we're approaching 5k, and there's a couple of runners coming down, including Andy Rayner.
Let's go, Andy!
There he is, the FOD runner, who had a really strong race. We've got a few others coming our way, including Ryan Baker from Rayleigh Adventures, who also had a strong race, despite, well, all the conditions. We all had to run in the same conditions. There he is. And yeah, we all had the same conditions to deal with, which were very, very windy and blustery. So here's John then. We go around the turnaround cone, and this is where I start to lose John. My plan was just to try and hang on to John as much as I could. I didn't realise that was the plan until a couple of kilometres in. And then I thought, no, hang on, my best chance to do well today is if I can hang on to John. So that's what I tried to do. But then after 5k, he just started to, it felt like he picked up the pace, and I just couldn't. And we got a water station here. And as we passed on the other side, Tim Gross, I didn't clock him at the time because I was looking at the water station, wondering whether I should have a cup of water. But a cup of water at 10k pace, it's just, I don't know, it's just more of it would have gone on my face and on me top rather than down the hatch. So I just didn't even bother, because I think you can just about survive a 10k without any fuel or without any water. And I just thought, no, my luck, I'll guzzle some water down and probably choke. So I'll just rather just leave it. So by now John's gone. We're coming back into the village now, into Bourton. Just coming over 8k, and John is distant memory now. Well, I'm a distant memory to him. He's a dot on the horizon. And what I'm trying to do is just trying to my absolute best to try and keep my kilometres from going into double figures, from going into the 410s. I'm trying to keep everything under 410 a k. And I'm working really, really hard by now as we come back into the village. And then you can see the brook on the left-hand side there, which means it's obviously pan flat, because the whole, the first 2 laps and the final lap of the village are just all flat around the village. So here we go, the last 800 metres. Come on, Andy, come on. We know a PB is not going to happen now, because there's been way too many 4-minute something splits, so that would mean I'd have to have a monstrous last kilometre, like, I don't know, 3:20 or something like that. Maybe even not, maybe even like 3:10. So yeah, I just knew at some thought it was off. Not happening now as we go past the filled in potholes. By the way, they filled in 2 out of about 48, so not quite enough pothole filling, to be honest. But luckily no twisted ankles from me. Coming around this corner, I said to myself, when we see the pub, which is like a navy blue, I think it's called the Wellington or the Duke of Wellington or something, which is on the left hand side. As soon as I see that pub, I am just going to kick. I'm just going to go until it feels like I've got nothing else left. Till it feels like my eyes are about to pop out my head. I'm just going to go as fast as I physically can. And that pub is coming up on the left fairly soon, because I remember from last year and the 28 laps that you have to do before finishing this race. You know the village quite well by now.
I just know that I've got about 200 metres to go from this pub, and I'm just going to try and kick as hard as I can. So can I reel in this guy in the blue? Can it be done?
Well done, mate. How'd you do?
Top one, isn't
Tired.
it? Top one, isn't it?
Yeah. Not quite a PB, but in the area. How'd you do? Oh, nice.
Similar to Telford. That's progress. That'll be interesting to see.
So we are finished. The race has been finished 20 minutes. I'm actually starting to really feel cold now because it is quite cold. But I'm about to get my official result. I think I did 41.09, but I'm just about to go and get my printout. Here, look. You can just say your number and they'll give you a little printout of your chip time. Hiya.
Number 399.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
Well done. Hi there.
703.
703.
Cheers. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Hi there.
So let's have a look. 393 Andy Maguire. 41.09. 157th out of 703. Average pace 4:07 per k. So yeah, pleased with that. To be honest, it was not a PB. I was about 15 seconds. What was that? 14 seconds outside of the PB. The wind. Here come the excuses. The wind was a little bit sheer on a couple of the exposed points. And yeah, I've just got a marathon training in my legs, but I mean I love everyone's got that excuse, haven't they? But I had a marathon in my legs last time I got a PB, so it's not really an excuse. So yeah, maybe I should have gone with the Takumis in the end and not the love boats. But you do the best you can in the moment you're in, don't you? So all in all, good day out, really good workout. Getting a good hard 10k in your legs is really good, I think, for marathon training, because you're so far beyond that threshold for such a long time that it's just such a good workout. So now I'm going to go and get warm and meeting some of the guys for a quick drink, quick coffee back in the village, and yeah, little race debrief with those guys, which would be nice. So I'm questioning whether I'm walking the right way here. I don't think I am.
Running 10k based on your marathon fitness. When I was training for marathon, I was like, but the thing is, right, and again,
End of a good morning out in the Cotswolds. So not quite by a few seconds the result that I really wanted. But in this game you get what you deserve, don't you? You really do. And I haven't really been doing the 10k and the 5k training to warrant getting a really good result. So I wanted that sub 40, but you know, you can't just turn up to a race and just expect an amazing result if you haven't really been doing specific training. And yeah, that's pretty much what's happened today. I got a good result, but not a brilliant result, if that makes sense. So it's my second fastest ever 10k. And I'm pleased with that, if I'm honest, because I didn't know what shape I was in coming into this. I didn't know if I would even... I actually thought that I would have just completely bonked from, you know, 5k onwards, but I managed to stay in the game. My splits don't look too bad. And it was my first race manually lapping a course today. And that was quite good, because it gave me an accurate you know, representation of the splits, if the splits were, you know, if they were bang on. The 6th kilometre, I think I had to guess where that was because I didn't see a board for that. I think it had blown away. Or the 7th K or something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's a good experience all in all. I'm sure I'll be back to do Bourton again at some point. It was a good, enjoyable race, and it was great to see so many familiar faces out on the course as well. So all's well that ends well. Not the fastest ever 10K that I've done. First race I've done for a little while where I haven't gotten a PB. So a nice little humbler, nice reality check for me that I need to work a bit harder on my 10K stuff. So until we meet again, I will see you guys on the next episode. Take it easy wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you soon. Ta-da.
It's on, Andy!